So here we are with Death's Cold Embrace. So this campaign I haven't played since, well, about a year ago, over a year ago I think. We played the last mission. Of course I released, Runes of Orginia, which took a long time to prepare, and I got back into Thief Gold, and I played some contest missions recently, so I've had a lot to do, and obviously some family things too to take care of. But I looked at my channel, and I think I released 5 missions in all of 2018. This will be the 5th mission in 2019, and it's only February. So that's a good sign. So anyway, this mission I prepped for recording probably a good 5-6 months ago. And then we had our third kid, and I put this on hold and everything. So although I have had it ready, I have probably forgotten quite a bit of the details. So if I don't seem as confident or as knowledgeable about the mission as maybe I usually do, I'm not sure, then that's why. So if there is any kind of areas where I go wrong, take a left instead of a right and stuff like that, then that's the reason. But we do hopefully remember the story. In the last mission, Julia Fairbanks died, by accident obviously, and we will pick up the story at the end of that mission, which was only a video sequence mission. It wasn't a playable one. That was Fate Intervenes, right? Yes. Okay, let us continue here. Seeking Counsel with Shadows. Act 2, Prologue. Alright. So we don't need to buy anything here, obviously. Interesting that there's a slow fall potion. I don't know if I've seen that being able for purchase. I'm not sure. Anyway, we have a rope arrow. That's always important to at least have one. Anything else is sort of irrelevant for this one. And we should be able to Supreme Ghost this mission. We have to skip some loot, but Supreme Ghost should be possible.
It had been a week since I pulled off the high-water job, and I'd been waiting for the other shoe to drop. And then it did. I got an urgent message from Fairbanks pleading with me to come see him for another job, promising me anything I wanted as payment. How could I refuse that kind of opportunity? Still, that little voice inside me was telling me not to go, that there was sure to be trouble. I guess it's time to see if the little voice is right. As usual.
So we have the following objectives. Make your way to Fairbanks Manor and slip inside undetected. Then find Lord Fairbanks in the library and hear him out. Don't harm or be seen by anyone associated with Fairbanks Manor. Remain undetected and get out of the manor as soon as the meeting is over. And don't kill anyone tonight. Okay, so we have to basically, until we meet Lord Fairbanks, we have to remain undetected. So we have to Supreme Ghost it. Once we meet him, all the guards in his manor will disappear, and the rest of that manor will be completely open for us. And then the objectives will change as well. We are back in Dayport, using the same base map as we did for missions 1 and 3. However, a lot of the establishments that we have been able to access previously are not accessible anymore. Instead, now we will primarily be spending our time in the Hammerite Chapel down here, and also the area in the far north here. Some of the establishments there are accessible, but pretty much nothing else is, except for Fairbanks Manor, that is here. So I'm not going to really go into the details here, but it's the same maps as we've had before. Go here. Okay, now in this mission there are 2 guards up on the walkway up there that can catch you. Now there is a nobleman around here with a purse that I want to take first.
Got to get the sheriff to spray me for better uniform. Things make us look like stupid little... Who'd I see there?
Let me just see where he is.
Hey! Hands over your head!
Better not be the sergeant checking up on me.
There he is. Okay, so I probably have to move a little bit closer to him to to trigger him, kind of.
Standing right. Lady of the Greens, keep us safe, grant us home, takes us swing eyes down from...
This is a beautiful campaign, I have to say. There he is. No doubt about it. There we go. 20. Let's go in here. So a lot of the civilians in the streets are not alerting to us, but they still give settling remarks if they see us. In here, I think this one is empty. A lot of the stuff is empty. Upstairs, there's the barracks for the guards, but there's nothing up there as well. No readables. So in order to get into Fairbanks, we have to access the dumbwaiter. And the dumbwaiter has a button missing. So we have to pick this lock and get a replacement button. There is one other way to get into the dumbwaiter, but that requires using a water arrow, I believe, if I remember correctly. And this area can be a little bit difficult.
Huh? What?
Oh, he heard the... He heard the door. There's a guard up there that we have to avoid.
What was that?
Yeah. He sees us if we make a small speed enhancement going down that chute there. So then we have to avoid. Take a chance and save there, but... yeah. Didn't see us there. Okay, in here, there's nothing to pick up, and here we have to place the button to get the dumbwaiter down. Now, there is a window upstairs that you can open and shoot a water arrow onto the button to bring the dumbwaiter down, and that way you don't need this button. But remember, we have to leave it in the topmost position, and we have to make sure that this door is closed too, so... Give it a real save there. Now, here, if we open the door, the lights turn on. That's horrible, because then we're spotted, so I have to listen for where the guards are. It's okay to turn lights on, that's not... I need that key. And we made our way into the Fairbanks Manor. I need the library key. I don't need his key, but that is a front door key. Nice model there. I'm not sure if I'm safe here forever.
Cook said we might get stew today.
We need to enter the library.
With real cow. Hope they say so. Barrett gets to eat cows all the time. Not potato.
Can't believe the damn coffee rose. What's that?
So we have to wait for him to turn that way. Seem to remember there was one more patroller downstairs and one that goes between the two floors like this guy does. Yeah, there was the other patroller. Okay, thought so. So all those patrollers will disappear once we talk to Fairbanks. Yeah, here we go.
It's you!
You must be pretty desperate to invite a thief into your house.
My flower, my precious jewel, gone.
What?
My fault. It's all my fault. Both of them must find a way.
What's your fault?
My sweet gems are gone, and it's all my fault.
You're not making any sense. Talk to me.
Mr. Garrett? You're here. Yes. I must have summoned you. Okay, I discovered my sweet flower was in love with Robert, the eldest Highwater son. In my rage, I sent my only son, Edwin, to challenge him in a duel. I should have known she would follow.
Follow?
My precious daughter, Julia. In my rage, I couldn't accept that she truly loves him. She followed them and tried to intervene. And Edwin...
What happened?
In the haze of fighting for his life, Edwin killed her by mistake. Now he's fled to builder knows where, and both my children are gone from me.
I'm sorry for you, but why did you ask for me?
Must find a way, Garrett. A way to bring her back.
Okay. You want to bring your daughter back from the dead.
Yes, somewhere out there, someone must know of a way. The Hammerites, or that secret order you only hear rumors about, who supposedly have a vast compendium of knowledge. I've heard you defeated the trickster himself. Surely if there is information on such a ritual, you can find it.
Ritual? So you're serious about all this?
Oh yes, Garrett. I'll do whatever I must to bring her back. Having you here has cleared my mind, and now I know exactly what I must do. But I need your help.
So besides pity, why should I help you?
I'll give my entire gem collection to you. Its value is enormous, but it means nothing to me now. The gems will be yours if you succeed in doing 3 things. Find information on a ritual, obtain all necessary components, and then make sure Brother Thaddeus is here to help me complete the ritual.
I don't like playing games or being manipulated.
There's nothing shady going on here, Garrett. No one's trying to entrap you. I'm just a grieving old man looking to set things right and atone for his misdeeds.
I guess it's worth the risk. Besides, you're the one making the real sacrifice.
Very well. I'll be waiting down in the caverns below the house, getting as ready as I can. Join me down there when you have the information. You just pull this book to open the door. Once you've left the house, I'll send all the guards home, so the house should be empty when you return.
Okay, so we got a few new objectives here. We obviously checked off one, and we got Fairbanks is bordering on madness, but fulfill his request by finding information on a ritual to resurrect Julia. Return to Fairbanks once you have the information. He said he would wait in the caverns under the mansion. Oh yeah, my bad. They're not disappearing now. They don't disappear until after you have found... until after you have found the information, right? Yeah, okay. But let's read a few things here first. Let's take this purse. That's worth 50, total 70. December 29. Alan has bested me again. He came in and outbid me at the last moment on a lucrative deal with Caruso. I am constantly reminded why our families have hated each other for generations when such things happen with regularity. January 6th. Smithers caught wind of an underground deal coming up for a bid soon. Seems that the old inventor Miller is wanting to discreetly auction off a formula for synthesizing emeralds. I have to beat Alan to the punch. January 9th. After checking my accounts, I can only afford to bid 7,000 for the formula, but rumors has it that Highwater isn't even interested, so that should be sufficient. I'll need to find a way of producing the emeralds once I have it, but it should provide me years of steady income. January 11th. Damn, Miller informed me that I didn't have the highest bid, so Smithers did some digging, and it seems that Alan did get it after all. I've got to find a way to get it from him. He's leaving on a holiday in 2 days, so perhaps I can find someone to acquire it from the Highwater estate while he's away. January 14. I met with one Garrett, a highly skilled and expensive thief who has quite a reputation in underground circles. He agreed to take the job to steal the formula for 5,000, and I offered a bonus if he can find my grandfather's sword. I don't like resorting to such measures, but I'm tired of always being outmaneuvered by Alan. January 15. Garrett came through, delivering the formula as well as my grandfather's sword. In addition, he found some evidence of a mistress, which I can use to my advantage in the future. This is a huge turn of events. I feel as though my luck is finally changing. January 20th. Oh, Builder, what have I done? After Elizabeth kept insisting that Julia has a lover, I decided to poke through her diary, and to my horror, I discovered that not only has she a lover, but he is Alan's son Robert. In my rage, I sent Edwin to defend her honor in a duel, but Julia got wind of it and followed, and intervened only to be slain by Edwin. Tonight, I bury my daughter, and my son has not been seen since, and I cannot bear the pain. January 21. I have pored through every book I can find, from my personal to the public libraries, and cannot find any information on a ritual to do what I want to do. I must find a way. January 22nd. After giving up on finding a means myself, I am sure that Garrett can find a way to do it. He came through for me once, and he can do it again. So I sent him a summons. Meanwhile, I will keep digging and looking. Must find a way. Okay. So basically what we have to do now is I actually want to head back upstairs and then go back down the dumbwaiter, because that triggers the disappearance of the guards, I believe. I can go out the front door, but then I have to pick the key off the guard upstairs, and I don't want to do that.
Uniforms are better. They got real good boots.
Where's the other guard? There he is. Okay, that makes sense. Oh no, I have to pick the key on this guard to get out the front door, and I don't want to do that. So it's a little bit of a weird situation here, but there is another key of that type, the front door key, that'll spawn in the library.
What's that? You've made a big...
I wasn't fast enough there. Oh, I could have done that. Now I have to still push the button on the outside. That they definitely heard. So that is how it is. Now you're getting out of the manor, and now they should all be gone. So now we have to go back up here. There. Now they've all disappeared. So now we're good to go. Okay, let's loot a couple of places up here. We have to pick the lock on this door. This is the door to Mrs. Fairbanks' bedroom. Or, I guess both Mr. and Mrs. Fairbanks. Here, there's a little statue worth 100, total 170. And there's a bracelet up here. And that is worth 175, total 345. And this candlestick here is lit, so we can't take that for Supreme. That's one of the loot pieces we have to skip. Any lit candlestick that turns off when you take it constitutes a bust for Supreme. Let's go into Julia Fairbanks' bedroom and read her diary. I kind of like that one. So this is the diary that Lord Fairbanks found. October 25th. No matter how I try, I cannot stop thinking about Robert, despite his last name. He was charming, gracious, handsome, everything I could ask for, but for his father being the hated rival of my own. I couldn't muster the courage to reveal to him my own last name, but I know if I ever see him again, if anything comes of this, I must do so someday. I dread that more soundly than anything I've ever known. November 2nd. I can bear it no longer. Today I am sending via trusted courier a note to Robert asking him to meet me at 10 bells 3 eves hence, at Red's studio. Red was wonderful, as he always has been to me, when I explained to him I am in love and needed a rendezvous location, and needed to keep it secret. He promised to help me maintain discretion, and I am indebted to him for that. Even if things go poorly with Robert, it must never get back to my father that we saw each other even one time. And now I must play the waiting game, as I expect Robert has this last week. November 5th. I received a reply from Robert this morning, agreeing to meet me this evening. When nothing arrived last night, I began to fear his rejection, but the courier told me there was a mishap, which delayed the delivery on my note by a day. Oh my stars, I cannot wait to see him tonight, to see if the chemistry we felt at the Bumblesons' masquerade ball was real. November 6th. I have hardly slept. So full of life and love do I feel after my rendezvous with Robert last night. He is both charming and intelligent. We spoke on dozens of subjects, and he seemed intrigued that I was conversant on so many of them. I guess he assumed I had spent my life being coddled, but upon learning I am a voracious reader, he realized I am his equal, and that opened up a whole new level of emotional intimacy between us. Before our parting kiss, I asked him to meet again 3 nights hence, and he immediately agreed. I cannot wait to see him again. I feel so connected to him already, after only one meeting. It'll be torture being apart from him, now I've experienced the connection I have. November 11th. It's taken me several days to write this entry, so consumed by emotion have I been. At our second meeting, when Robert threw open the studio window to sing of our love to the watchman outside, I immediately realized that I could carry the charade no further, and must reveal to him my last name. It hit him hard, but after he sorted through his emotions for a minute, he declared his love to be true regardless of our father's feud, and swore to me that I am his one true love, and damn the consequences. It does make our continued meetings more dangerous, however, and that anxiety is what has delayed the writing of these words. I know not what to do, but I must continue seeing him. December 8th. The last few weeks have been both glorious and agonizing, having to meet secretly in the dead of night, not even telling my most trusted friends. But we finally realized we had to confide in someone, and revealed our love to brother Thaddeus a few days ago. He was wonderful and supportive, and agreed to marry us come springtime, but urged us not to reveal our love to anyone else yet, and that he would try to work on both our fathers to lay a foundation that might allow them to accept our love. If he cannot, and I fear no words he may say will succeed in bridging the gulf between Fairbanks and Highwater, we will have no choice but to elope. January 11th. Robert is going away in a few days on a winter holiday with his family, and I am dreading the thought of not seeing him for a week. The last few months have been so difficult. I fear Mother knows I am in love, but luckily she has not pressed the matter. I guess some things a mother just knows through her maternal intuition. I did take the chance of giving to Robert a small portrait of myself a few weeks ago, to connect us in a small way between our meetings. Okay. Okay, where are we going next? Here there are 2 more candlesticks that we have to skip. So that's a total of 150 skipped so far. But there is a vase in here worth 50. Here's a vase worth 100. This is, oh yeah, this is, was Robert's bedroom, right? These are not valuable, but you can just extinguish them if you want to. There's a goblet here, and there's a goblet here, and there's a diary. January 11. My father has been more stern, more detached of late. I know both he and, not Robert. Yes, it's Robert Fairbanks. I know both he and mother want me to move out and find my way in the world, but I just don't feel ready yet. Although I'm 23, I don't feel confident enough in myself to strike out into this cold and lonely world just yet. January 18th. Father seems to think Julia has a lover. How absurd. The girl is barely 18 and has no suitors. And if she did, I would surely know, as she confides everything in me. Right. While she was out with mother, he began rummaging through her room, probably looking for her diary. I wonder if mother put him up to it. I can't believe it. Father found Julia's diary and read it. She's in love with Robert Highwater. How could she be so stupid? He told me I have to challenge Robert to a duel. And this isn't Robert, this is Edwin Fairbanks' diary. To a duel and defend our family's honor. I'm frightened, but I know I have to go through with it. What would he think of me if I play the coward? I sent an urgent message to Highwater telling him to meet me in the cemetery at St. Alden's at midnight tonight. Michael and Aaron are going with me, but they know it's just between me and Robert and not to intervene. I have an ominous sense of foreboding about tonight. One way or the other. I'm being forced onto my own path finally. I only wish it were voluntary. Okay. This is a pickable door out to the streets, the back entrance. In here there's 3 gold goblets and 1 more on the table here. I don't think there's anything. So they can't see you actually through the windows here. So we got to be careful about that. I forgot about that. I don't know if there is anything else to pick up in here. I think there is a purse in here too. Yep. That purse is worth 75, so we should have 700. That's great. The windows are half transparent, but to the guards in the streets, that's fully transparent to them. So now a Fairbanks Manor key, the main entrance door, has spawned here. Now we need to get a secret up here. It's a secret that was worth 250, and that's total 950. Jump down there. I think we can jump down like that. Perfect. This is the secret entrance to his lab, where we have to go afterwards. I think that's everything in here. We have to return both the manor key and the library key later on. But that's okay. That's easy enough. I'll keep everything locked for now. So. Let's make a real save here. This next area, getting to the chapel now, can be a little bit difficult to do. We have to stay out of the view of all the guards. So like I said, the civilians here are also able to catch you.
Must be a cushy job in private guard.
Without giving a first alert, they give settling remarks. So that's one of the Hammerites that goes back and forth between the chapel, I think, and here. Oh wow. The guard up there you have to be careful about.
Yes?
So we might need to just head over on the right instead. We have to get into the chapel. And we have to pick the lock on the door there to get in, and it's a pretty difficult lock. Let's see. Not sure where that guard goes next. It's the streets in this mission that actually is the most difficult. Inside the chapel there's some tight areas, but I think I know the layout there pretty well. Though we'll see.
What's there? No, well. Guess it was nothing.
Oh, there is a guard up on the balcony there. I didn't see him.
If a beam taketh 6 nails to place, then 6 shall there be. If thou usest 5, cheap and careless fool. If thou usest 7, then be thou wastrel with no pride.
We have to pick the lock on this door. We can relock it, because there's a key inside. Okay, now I want to be fast here. Just want to see where they all are first. There's a bunch of loot in here. Let me just quickly check. There should be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Should be 5 pieces of loot spread around different places here. Let me just see where they are.
I thought I spied
1,
something. All seems peaceful now.
2,
Have someone come.
3.
Vigilance is our It seems nothing now.
Let me check.
Something approach.
There's a pile of coins, and then there should be a purse here. Okay, then I have him. All right. See if I can get them all before anybody comes here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Good, now there is a piece of loot up here too.
I thought I spied something. I do wonder what it was. It seems gone now.
That's exactly how we take it though, because we gotta drop down after taking the rope. I'll go over what those loot items were afterwards.
I thought I...
Let's wait a little bit with that one. I think we got an opening here. Good. Nice. Awesome. Okay. Prayer to the Master Builder. O Master Builder, guide our steps. Keep them ever on the path of righteousness. Defend us in battle. Shield us against the wickedness and snares of the trickster, thine enemy in all things. Should we fall in thy service, bring us swiftly to thy side, where, in the fellowship of our departed brethren, we might sing thy praise for all eternity.
Who comes unto me?
Okay, so that's the next one. Once I'm done with all that, I'll go over what I just took. There we go. There's an archer that comes down here and stations himself here. I don't want him to come. I think he's over there now.
Hello?
Okay, this might be tough. I don't need to read that prayer during the run. So let's just skip that real quick. Okay. I think we should be good here once he goes there. And those guys disappear around the corner.
He's carrying our salvation. Even blessed is a man in the heart of a poet, yet also
Good. Okay. Now we are perfectly fine. So in the chapel there, I just had to be quick. We took a ring worth 100. We took 2 coins. No. Yes, 2 coins worth 5 each. We took a pile of coins worth 10. We took a purse worth 40. And we took the golden hammer worth 150 on top of that big statue. That's a secret. That's our second secret. We should be able to get all the secrets in this mission. We took 2 gold candlesticks. They were not lit, so that's fine to take. And we took a bottle of wine on the pulpit itself, didn't we? We did not take that one, so that we got to go back and take. Alright, so there is no map for this area here. So, of course, this is the outline. This is all you have. So, I wish there was a map for this building, but anyway. This is the library. Or one of the libraries. There are 2 statues up here. Worth 15 each, I think. And back here there's a medallion worth 100. And I think there's a scroll around here we can take. Or something like that. Yeah, here. Some kind of scroll. Nothing else to read in the library. So that was worth 100 total, 1640. We're going to go into these 2. There's a lot of patrollers, but they have fairly long routes, and there are not many stationary guards. Stationary guards are usually the worst ones. Purple vase. And candlestick. Statue worth 15, and then there should be a couple of coins under here. 2, and a letter. To Brother Harmon, Procurer, Dayport Chapel. Greetings, brother. I am gladdened to know that thou hast received thy shipment of Fira brew. I was most pleased by your praise for our brew in your recent missive. Verily, it doth ever be good to receive honest opinion of our efforts, and I am heartened to learn that thee and thy brethren do enjoy the beer. To answer thy query, I believe its freshness be due to the quality of the water we use in its manufacture. We are most fortunate to be situated upon the very cisterns into which the city rainwater is collected. That water is a gift from the builder himself, and I can only attribute its quality to his blessings. May the builder guide thy steps, brother, and may you ever quench thy thirsts with our brew. Brother Bosk, Brewmaster, Monastery of St. Fair.
Canst I help?
Good. So in the first... Ay, ay, ay. He has the chapel key. Awesome, we need that. Didn't know when I would meet him, so... In the closest office, we took a blue vase and a gold candlestick, and in the second one we took 2 gold coins on the floor worth 5 each and a statue worth 15. Now I believe we're going to head up here next. Here's a vase worth 100. Here's another vase worth 100. And a gold, no, a silver coin stack worth 12, total 1977.
And the trickster with his venomous minions, hordes too numerous to name, but the worst is the human.
I'm gonna check something, because I know that...
What? A villain! Fall before mine hammer!
Perfect. One of those servants last time was stuck on top of the counter. And he was staring right at me, or there was no way to get past him. And there's one entrance into the basement there that I need to have functional. Nothing in here.
What sound dost come?
So he hears that, even though I don't actually open it, I just block it, basically.
Let my hand be steady, O builder. Let my hammer fall in righteousness on the brows of heathens and miscreants. O great master builder. Builder, let my
So now we're in the study library.
builder, let thy hammer strike me and grant me shape, and wilt I not flinch or cry out? Builder, I submit to thy fall.
This can be a difficult place. There are 6 chambers. We're in the northeast one now, and that has a statue. It's also readable here. So most of the enemies move through here, but they don't linger here for too long. It's a holy water vial here. Don't ask me why. I mean, it would maybe make sense. We're in a Hammerite chapel, but you can't use it in this mission. Poems and prayers of piety. The architects of our own fate. We build upon the walls of time, some with mighty deeds and great, some with callings more divine. Nothing useless comes from hand with all things the future's filled. Our todays and yesterdays be the block with which we build. Build today both strong and sure, with a firm and sturdy base. Then determined and secure shall tomorrow find its place. The vessel. Build me straight, O master builder, staunch and strong. A goodly vessel that shall laugh at all misfortune, and the heathen trickster wrestle. Okay. In this chamber here, which is the one to the east, I don't think there's anything valuable. But in here there should be. The Adventures of Brother Bernard. Brother Bernard and the Dog. One day Brother Bernard was walking home when he passed a group of boys sitting in the dirt of the street and surrounding a small scruffy dog. The boys appeared to be arguing about something and gesticulating wildly. Brother Bernard approached and asked what the boys were doing. One boy responded, "We found this puppy that was lost and has no home. We're trying to decide who gets to keep him." Impressed with the charity of the boys, Brother Bernard said, "This is a good thing you do here, giving a home to this poor wretch. How will you decide who gets to keep him?" The boy replied, "We're taking turns telling lies. Whoever tells the biggest lie gets to keep the dog." Brother Bernard was appalled by this and admonished the boys, "Shame on you, you should not tell lies. Lying is not a good way to solve anything, and I thought you were good boys. Why, when I was your age, I never told a lie." The boys looked crestfallen for a moment, and then together said, "Give him the dog." Brother Bernard and the horse. Brother Bernard was traveling to his new posting in a town far from his home. Having no other means of transport, he was forced to walk. On the 4th day of his journey, footsore and weary, he came upon a small monastery where he sheltered for the night. Seeing his predicament, his host, Brother Joseph, gave him the use of his horse, asking that he send the animal home upon his arrival, and instructing him in his use. "He be a pious beast," said Brother Joseph. "To make him go, say only, 'Praise the builder.' To make him stop, say simply, 'Hammer and forge.'" Brother Bernard thanked Brother Joseph, and the next morning he climbed on the beast and cried, "Praise the builder!" The horse immediately set off down the road at a gallop. He traveled all day without pause, and in late afternoon saw that the road approached a great ravine, and the bridge was out. "Whoa!" he cried, but the horse ran doggedly on. "Whoa! Stop! Halt!" he cried, panicked, for he could not remember the way to stop the beast. Then it came to him. "Hammer and forge!" he cried. The horse came to an abrupt halt on the very edge of the cliff. Shaking with relief, Brother Bernard mopped his brow and exclaimed, "Praise the builder." Now up here, there is a hidden book. That is the Ritual of Rebirth. Inscribe a red octacle upon the floor of the ritual chamber, and place the deceased therein. Place 4 keystones on each of death, life, spirit, and flesh, cardinally by compass points. When the deceased has risen, a donor must enter the octacle in forfeit. Then must the scrolls be burned. First fiber hemp, then fire oak, finally dragon snap waterweed, as the risen and her true love recite the mantra.
Stand forth and speak thy...
Okay. Apparently there's no place to hide up there. Try to figure out where I'm going next here. So that was the information on the ritual then, of course.
Hello? Who art thou? Who art thou there in the shadow?
There, I guess I can hide. Hopefully. And this one, I believe there is another one of those scrolls or tapestries, whatever it is, worth 100 total, 2092, and then there should also be a gold vase worth 100 as well. Now in the next one, there is a servant, I know. Don't think he moves from here. There's an apple in there. And he will see us if we go up the ladder there, and there's loot on top of it. So the best way I've found to go up there is actually to just climb up on the wall.
Didst thou see that too?
Let's see. We got it. I think we got a mantle up there. Somehow.
If thou be
Hold there, sir. Drop thy weapon.
Can we not do that? Maybe we can jump up from the table in there. 100% sure about this. I don't remember it. We should be able to if we mantle up here.
who is there?
Thou spare
There's someone
Yeah,
there.
that we can do once those guys have passed. Yeah, because he alerts if we use the... Purse worth 100 and 2 stacks of gold coins worth 50 total. Oh, he does leave! I did not know that he left. That's nice to know. Then you can use the ladder here. After all, I think what we need to do... We've gone through all the chambers here. Let's leave through this way. Now this room here only has a readable, so I'm not going to pick the lock on the door just for that, but I want to read it. Ah, where hath the day gone? Never enough time. I must finish cataloguing the Seneschal Chronicles. And I must not forget to update the chapel annals. I need an assistant. Mayhap I'll speak to Thaddeus. Claymath writes from St. Ferris requesting the loan of the Terenma's scriptures. Happy to oblige, of course, but I was rather looking forward to receiving a copy of the Trials of St. Dismas from him. Pity 'twas stolen. He asks that I keep an eye out lest it come up for sale locally. I imagine he hath sent word to all parts of the city, but I suspect 'tis already in the hands of a private collector, and we shall see it no more. I must again remind Brother Martin to return the books he hath borrowed, 'tis becoming a habit with him. Which reminded me, several other books and scrolls appear to be missing from the library. I suspect it to be nothing more than that they have been misplaced. I shall ask the novices to search the place top to bottom. They hath been known in the past to leave them lying atop the stacks, and I be too old for climbing up and down those wretched ladders all day. So this is, of course, a hint to where you can look for the Book of Shadows, which, of course, was found on top of the bookshelf. Okay. There is a patroller in here, the High Priest, I believe. So this lock we have to pick. Okay. That is weird. There's supposed to be a guy in here. There's supposed to be a patroller in there. So the guy's sleeping here. He is supposed to be sleeping there, but there's supposed to be a guy in there too. Okay, I didn't know that he left. I honestly did not know that he left. Then, that's frustrating, to be honest with you, because then I didn't need to unlock this door. Huh. Okay, yeah. I don't want to, because you don't have to leave this door unlocked. If he goes in and out of the room. Okay. Yeah, let me do something here. Okay, so I replayed the chapel from the last real save I had, and now I am right outside waiting for the high priest to leave his room. I did not know that he actually left his room, so that means we can avoid picking the lock on the door here. So I'm now in the doorway of the other neighboring bedroom. And I have the same piece of loot, or amount of loot. Oops. Yeah, there we go. So if we block the door there, that's awesome. We can get by with not having to pick the lock on that door. I'm not going to close it now because then I can't get back out. Let's read his sermon. Sermon for the morrow. The young thief. A young man was caught in a daring act of theft and was condemned by the town's high priest to be executed for it. He expressed his desire to see his mother before he died, and of course this was granted. When his mother came to him, he said, "Came closer that I might whisper to you," and when she brought her ear near to him, he bit it off. All the bystanders were horrified, and asked him what he could mean by such brutal and inhuman conduct. It is to punish her," he said. "When I was young, I began stealing little things and brought them home. Instead of punishing me, she laughed and said, 'It will not be noticed.' It is because of her that I am here today." "He speaketh truly, woman," declared the priest, "as the builder hath cautioned. Take care to set thy children on the path of righteousness, lest thou be held accountable for their deeds. 'Tis for this reason the builder imploreth us to be ever vigilant of our actions, for as a father to his children, he maketh himself responsible for us all." Okay. So in here you have a gold candlestick that we again can't take, so that's another 50. Skipped. But there's a pile of coins under here, so worth 25. Total 2367. Now there's a very well hidden ring here, worth 75. Total 2442. That should be all in here, I believe. And in this room, there is another gold candlestick that we cannot take, so that's another 50. But there is a purse worth 35, total 2477. And there is a diary under his bed. "By the builder's right foot, this cold. Blast this winter. I fear I shall never be warm again. It snows, and the sun doth rarely break through this cursed overcast. These old bones weren't meant for such weather. And nary a fireplace to be found outside the kitchen. Should the builder's house be such a frigid tomb? There be times I wish I was still a novice, that I might have kitchen duty. If only I had quarters in the basement. At least there the earth provideth some insulation, and the generators giveth off a measure of warmth. I must talk to Thaddeus. The builder knoweth he never need suffer the cold, snug as he is in his own cozy quarters across the square. Okay, now we're gonna head down into the kitchen next.
Hello?
Just check these guys again.
Saint Maximil, watch thou over the blade.
I think we're good here. Here, dining room.
It's builder!
Could not reach that without setting him off. Okay. Okay. Now we have to wait. So,
Yet also with the hands of a builder, he will lift us up from the earth.
oh, did he see me?
Surely the wicked are a curse and a blight upon the city. Would that I could smite them all.
With which we carve a path to an enlightened future. When the trickster came, the man who has built his house of straw did...
There's 2 more small coins in this room, and then there is, in the storage room, the rest of the loot.
Something in that shadow.
This is a difficult room to get through.
Aid me, Master Builder, and all the things that I must do. Thy will shall be done, Master Builder. Hello? It is not enough to read.
I think here we are safe, actually, if I can get in there. This is one I remember. This is probably the most difficult place to get through, to get into to the kitchen storage room there. We have to wait maybe for a few rounds of this patrol. Most of the patrollers also head through this dining room. Head over here.
Be something in that shadow.
know if that was an alert or what it was. It sounded like it could have been. Now, I do claim that we're safe here. Those 2 coins were worth 5 each. Well, let's see if we are. I think so. Oh, he came back in here right away.
Hello? Huh? Who?
When he calls, wilt thou answereth when he requires it? Wilt thou go and set all aside?
Be something in that shadow?
That's annoying.
Thou comest when he calls, wilt thou answereth when he requires it? Wilt thou go and set all aside?
What about here?
Thou might take up his tools. The single virtuous man hath the worth of 10 evil men. For canst not the virtuous man both slay the wicked and preserve his own? Do thy eyes perceive?
There's a meat locker that they go into to check a few things, so if they go in there both at the same time now...
Trickster in the woods, who lures the fool and entices with drink and promise of plenty. Perhaps 'tis not nothing.
We need to get down there.
Builder, let my hand strike true. Builder, and work I do.
Around here, okay. 2502, that pile of coins was worth 10. Good, let's make another real save there. We got through one of the more difficult areas. I don't think, if I remember correctly, that we have to go back up that way. There's another way. Okay, now in the basement. I can remember my way around. Here, I think there is a flash bomb in this purse. No, in this footlocker. Flash bomb. Let's see. Now in here, there's a pile of coins here, worth 25. Total 25, 27. There's a purse worth 40. Let me read this one. Oh, I do love poetry so. Verily, I've taken every book of poems from the library that I could find. Brother Nathaniel does periodically admonish me and entreateth me to return the borrowed books, but I cannot. They are my comfort and my most treasured resource. How else to become a great poet but to study such material? And already they have been a boon. Why, just yestereve I wrote the following verse. My soul be wrapped in harsh repose. Midnight descendeth in raven-coloured clothes. But soft, behold, the sunlight beam cutteth a swath of glimmering gleam. My heart expandeth, 'tis grown a bulge in it, inspired by thy beauty effulgent. That was horrible. Now there's a secret here. A small switch that pulls back the bed. We can head down here and look at a little pleasure retreat. Okay. The third poster hath arrived today. My cousin in Wayside hath come through again, mailing it to me surreptitiously in plain brown packaging. It depicts a lovely lass who doth excite my loins in ways I had long forgotten since joining the order. My guilt over this sinful indulgence is only surpassed by my fear of being discovered. What would Brother Nathaniel or Builder forbid? Brother Thaddeus say were my secret room to be found. But no matter, I cannot restrain my urges. Builder, forgive me this one transgression. Okay. And in here there is a pair of golden dies, and those are worth how much? 50 total, 2617. Let's pull that back. And we are going to move into...
I thought I heard something.
Yeah, he woke up there. Go in here. There is a gold vase here worth, is it 40? Total 2657. And there is another one of those tapestries or scrolls worth 65. Total 2722. Now I can't 100% remember where we are going next. Cannot, I must admit. Oh yeah, this is an area I want to show you guys. No, wait. This is a pickable door, but it opens with the chapel key. That's what it is. Okay. So we can head out this way. The chapel key wasn't an unnecessary pickup, because we need to lock the front door, which we had to pick in order to get in. Now we're actually in the apartment area. This is the back entrance to the Hammerite Chapel. So I guess we've gone underground and come up here now. So we're just east of the east gates. This is the east gate right here. Okay. Let me just show you. There is a guard here, but you cannot pass this corner without a first alert. At least I have not been able to. So the only way to get to this area here is via the chapel. There's no loot in here. There's a couple of readables. Soldis, you leave me no choice but to evict you for failing to heed the multiple warnings about the loud Victrola music. You should expect an eviction notice under your door tomorrow morning. That is, assuming your neighbors don't evict you first. Gladwell. Come on. So, this is where the bum was. Now this door is blocked off. Oh, now if we jump over there, we're going to find a secret here. That's why I wanted to get out here. And I want to catch as many readables as I can. Here we go. 14th January. It worked. I was able to watch Mrs. Robertson undress and get in the bathtub. She's even more shapely and beautiful than I ever imagined. This will become a nightly ritual for me. 18th January. All day long at work. I think about my peephole and Mrs. R's bath. I think maybe I should go next door and introduce myself, and maybe even have the courage to tell her how I watch her. Maybe in a few days. So this secret is here. And this is the neighbor's bathroom. What a creep. What a creep. Drop down here. Yep. So that's to get that secret. But we are going to go back. And I do claim that there is another exit from the basement. I'm pretty sure there is. Let's see if we can find it. Yes. Oh! I knew it. Now all we have to do really is return the chapel key. Make sure that we lock the front door. As well on our way. Oh, not safe here for sure. So the front door is right there. That's why this is a nice exit from the basement. And the guy that we took the key from, he patrols the route that you see right here. So we can drop it on the carpet or the rug in front of the front door.
Canst thou spy?
I don't know who of these guards it was we took it from, but that doesn't really matter. Oh man, what? It locked on its own? Well, I want to make sure it doesn't do that. Does. Okay. Here. Good. All right. Now, the City Watch station is over that way, just to the north. I'm not going to go in there. I will go in just to just to read the journal upstairs. But I'm not going to do that for Supreme. You can go in there for Supreme.
Yep.
If you want to, but I'm going to not care about that. In here you have 5 broadhead arrows. And you have a slow fall potion on the table here. Can't read this.
Hey, where'd you...
I'm just going to do that just to read this. January 15th, 0910. Well, this is disturbing. Miller's body disappeared from the crime scene at some point in the night last night. Geordie was posted outside the door. He said he may have heard some noises coming from inside, but wasn't sure enough to go inside and investigate. More like, wasn't brave or maybe sober enough to go inside and investigate. I can't really blame him, I guess. After all, that happened yesterday. Yeah. Carson is still on leave to get over what he saw. Anyway, Captain canceled the coroner's visit since there's no longer a body to examine. But the detective from Central Office is still going to analyze the crime scene, and maybe Miller's body will turn up somewhere eventually. Skip ahead to current entries. January 22nd, 5:15:10, so that's 3:10 p.m. Captain Roth didn't want to alarm the men, but he confided in me that there were reports from Aldale last night of a horrific creature strongly resembling Carson's description of the thing, breaking into some nobleman's estate and running off with the captain of the guard. I shudder at the thought of that creature still running wild through the city, wreaking havoc in Aldale of all places. I have to make sure the men don't hear about this, especially Carson, who lives near Aldale and is still battling nightmares and flashbacks of the Miller crime scene. Okay.
Nowhere it's really safe anymore. Don't think anyone's nearby.
Okay, we have to move past here. Now there doesn't seem to be anybody here. That's awesome. And in here, we can get a piece of loot. Coin purse. Worth 80, total 2802. And a respectable amount of loot. Well done. Bonus. 2800. Okay. Let's read this. January 16th. Fate smiled on us today. Some degenerates broke in 2 nights ago and stole the key. They got to Clara's as well and found the Drimian keystone. Clara thinks this was Francesco and was looking for blood, but I just paid the 1,000 asked for from my own pocket. The keystone is irreplaceable. Without it, the Wailing Keep would remain closed to us, and its ancient Drimian secrets are worth far more than that paltry sum. I hate to admit it, but Clara was right, and these events of late confirm it. We have to go as soon as an expedition can be arranged. Winner wins be damned. January 20th. We depart at dawn for the keep. I've arranged for Edith's brother and his wife to stay while I'm gone. After the break-in, someone should be here in my absence. 20 years ago, I could have handled the brigands myself. I've told Daniel to use deadly force to protect himself and the women if anyone breaks in, but I don't expect he'll need to. I've also asked the watch to keep an extra eye on things while I'm gone. Clara insists that it must have been Francesco's men, but I still think she gives him too much credit. Still, it's a bit peculiar that they only took the keys and went right for the prize. Who else could it have been? The tramp? Certainly not. As I was going through my notes, I spotted the note from Will. Could it have been him? He must have known there was something of value to me in that apartment. I would hate to think it was him, a man who sits with us at holiday table. He's been nothing but loyal help to me over the years, but I'll keep an eye on Jenny's hand all the same. I suppose what's done is done, and I will not spend any more valuable time contemplating it. The important thing is that we got the keystone back, and I shall keep it on my person at all times. Planning for this expedition has made me feel young again, like the great Davidoff of old. Cool. We can't go through the door in the back there. It's not probable. I want to get my butt in here. That sounded maybe like an alert there. Yeah, 2802. Okay. So I think they can see me through the side windows there too, so I gotta be careful here. Good. We actually don't have too much left. It's more the story that needs to play itself out here. We have to go back to Thaddeus next, and then we have to loot a couple more places around town. So now we can do this, and I don't think we can reset that. Yes, we can. And we probably can do that with the book too. So this is some kind of cave system underneath Fairbanks Manor, and that's where he is right now. There's nothing to worry about down here.
Garrett, what news?
I think I found something that will do it. But there's a high price.
Anything. I'll pay it.
You must forfeit your own life and your soul.
My soul? Yes. 'Tis only fair. A soul for a soul. What else is needed?
First and foremost, her body is required. I take it you'll want me to...
To retrieve it from the churchyard cemetery, yes. What else?
You must inscribe a red octal on the floor in the ritual location.
I can do that. And?
There are 4 keystones that must be located. Life, death, spirit, and flesh.
Oh my, where on earth will we find such things?
That's likely to be the biggest problem. I'm going to have to scour Dayport for evidence of where they may be.
Is that it?
Unfortunately, no. We also need to inscribe a phrase on 3 different kinds of paper.
Well, that should be easy. The Quill bookstore over on Farpoint Alley has all sorts of paper.
Good. But that's not the problem. The problem is I don't yet know what the phrase is. I have the book here describing the ritual, but that page has been ripped out.
I see. So there's something else to find as well.
Right. Assuming it even exists anymore.
Speak not like that. We shall succeed, and you will be a very rich thief.
I certainly hope so, Lord Fairbanks. Oh, one last thing. The dead's true love must be present. Apparently that bond is what draws the spirit back into the body.
As much as I hate to admit it, her true love must be none other than Robert Highwater. Getting Robert here won't be easy. Okay, first you need to find Brother Thaddeus. He's a Hammerite priest and an old friend of both families. According to Julia's diary, Thaddeus was going to marry them in the near future. Here's the key to his apartment. Thank goodness I have a copy. Tell him what we're trying to do and instruct him to go seek out Robert and somehow convince him to come here and participate in the ritual.
Okay. Thaddeus may even have information on the missing page or the keystones. Then I should head for the cemetery.
Take care with my little flower, Garrett. I'll begin preparing the octacle.
Alright, so now we checked off a couple of objectives, and we have find Brother Thaddeus, tell him what's going on, and instruct him to convince Robert to come to Fairbanks Manor for the ritual. Then make your way to the East Gate. So we not received Thaddeus' apartment key. So since we got that by Lord Fairbanks, we don't have to return that key later on. Anything that we pick up, we have to return. Now, we have to block this door, and this key we have to return upstairs, right? Because the guy we took it from was patrolling here. And we have to block this door so that we can return the Fairbanks Manor key. Needs to be returned. Wait. Okay, we can't return it directly underneath, so that's the closest. You're not required to put it back exactly where it was if you can't physically do that. So that's as close as we can get. We don't have to return here at all, do we? No. If so, we can always go through the dumbwaiter. If we need to. Oh, we have to wait for that slow dude to go through here. Because he will give a remark if he sees us. Oh, okay. No, I will wait a little bit more. Because maybe he heard the door there. Because if he doesn't give a first alert, he will settle a lot later. Take that risk. So we have to head to Thaddeus right now. Just to talk to him about a few things. And then we have to... Then we have to head to the western part of town and clear a couple of things there. Really? Alright. Now we hit a very, very bad part of the patrol here. There's not much I can do about that, really. He should be able to get out afterwards, I hope,
That's what I know. Sure, it's just as bad as
when he leaves.
kick back and take it easy. You're not gonna do short walking patrol.
Yeah.
Oh, my dogs are killing me. Time to get a new pair of boots.
Didst I see?
I think I'm safe here. I don't know if I... Maybe we're seen by that other nobleman. So let's get safe.
Jordan.
Sometimes this happens where you just end up being in a bad patch of their patrols. Just have to accept that. That's the most annoying guy because he takes so long to pass. And all we need to do is get in there. Ah, we can watch the snowfall in the meantime. Listen to the music. Oh man, I did not know that he entered the Dayport Chapel. Then we didn't technically need to pick the lock on that door to get in there. But that's not a big deal because we locked it. We got the key and we locked it. But technically then we didn't need to pick the key. No, well, if we wanted to get the secret in the back, then we needed the key. But we didn't need to take that secret. So technically we didn't need to pick the key from that guard. Huh. That's interesting. That is very interesting.
And will they regret their choice when the end
We returned the key, and we locked the door, so... that isn't a big deal. It's not a bust in any way. Okay.
Be thou there?
I'm right here, Fen.
Hello?
Brother Thaddeus?
Yes, and thou art?
Healthier than you.
Indeed, yet I be not too ill to defend myself, ruffian. Who hath sent thee?
Relax. I was sent by Richard Fairbanks, who gave me the key.
Ah, poor man. The death of Julia weighs most heavily upon him. So what be thy business here?
He hired me to find a way to bring her back to life.
What?
And I've succeeded.
Blasphemy! Thy serpent tongue doth lie.
No, really. Look at this.
This be... Wait. Oh, Builder, thou art correct.
He asked me to gather the components, but as you can see, there's one component which only you can obtain.
Master Robert. Yes. Unfortunately for thee, I am unable to make that journey. This cursed illness hath sapped all mine energy. You, Mr.
Garrett.
You, Mr. Garrett, shall have to go in my stead. Give him this. 'Twill help allay his suspicions, along with the book. As further corroboration, thou shouldst take my rosary. 'Tis upstairs, in the bedroom.
I'll get it. Are there any texts here which might shed some light on the location of the keystones?
Perhaps thou canst look. I am weary and need sleep.
Okay, I'll have a look around. Rest and get better, brother.
Good luck to thee, Garrett.
So now we crossed off the one where he is going to Robert, and we don't need to go to the East Gate. He's too ill to go, but search the place for information on the keystones before leaving. You'll have to return to the Highwater Estate yourself, so take Thaddeus' rosary. That plus the note he gave you and the Book of Shadows should convince Robert. Then head for the North Gate to return to the Highwater Estate in Aldale. So let's read the note. Master Robert, the man giving you this note looks dangerous, but I trust his words. He was sent by Lord Fairbanks on a quest to bring Julia back to life. I know you wish this to come to be as much as I, and so hear him out, and read the book he shows you. Although a tome of darkness, it describes a ritual which may actually succeed, and which requires your participation. Your friend always, Brother Thaddeus. So there are a couple of things to pick up here. There is a pile of coins in here, and that is worth 80 total, 28.82. And then in the kitchen, all there is 2 cucumbers. The rest of the stuff is upstairs. And here there is a book, I believe. Yep. This appears to be an old tome, an old journal log written by members of the local Hammerite order. You scan the book looking for information and find an entry logged around 35 years ago. While most elemental talismans or keystones are attuned to the elemental forces of earth, air, fire, and water, some sets known to exist are instead attuned to the twin spiritual dichotomies of life and death, and flesh and spirit. It was but a fortnight ago that such a set arrived here at the chapel, in fact, and we were charged with the care of the spirit keystone, which Brother Maynard did secure in the restricted library with all due haste. I would have preferred to keep the death keystone, but it was not left to me. The eventual destinations of the other 3 keystones are unknown, but all their protectors were instructed to keep them in the vicinity of Dayport. I suspect our old friends the keepers may have at least one of them, but the locations of the other remaineth a mystery to us. Brother Mathian. So that was the information on the keystones. Let's go in here and we can read his journal. December 6th. Today my faith in humanity hath been restored. Robert Highwater and Julia Fairbanks, the children of bitter rivals Alan Highwater and Richard Fairbanks, came to me in confidence and did reveal to me that they are madly in love. Clearly their predicament is one which requireth a delicate balance, but their decision to trust in me, this greatest secret of their lives, is most endearing. May the Builder grant me the wisdom and fortitude to do right by them. Should the situation be mishandled, it could become most explosive. I advised them to keep their love a secret for the present, and vowed to work discreetly on both fathers to lay the groundwork for an eventual declaration. I assured them I would be most happy to marry them come springtime, if I felt the families were ready to accept it. You skip ahead to more recent entries. January 20th. 'Tis with a most heavy heart that I prepare the eulogy for our sweet Julia. As yet no opportunity has arisen for me to speak to Richard, to begin preparing him. So he must have learned of the affair himself in some manner. Sadly he ordered his son Edwin to challenge Master Robert to duel to the death. But alas, 'twas dear Julia instead who perished. O Builder, why hast thou cast such tragedy upon these families? I am concerned for both Edwin and Robert. Naught had been seen of Edwin since he mistakenly slew his sister, and I fear Robert is in the depths of depression. By the Builder's grace, they will come round to see me soon, that I may help them move past their grief. Both lads had such promising futures. January 22nd. I called on the Fairbanks this morning, and I must say I was most shocked by Richard's countenance. He seemed barely to recognize me, and was clearly bordering on madness and preoccupied with the tragic events of the week past. No doubt the fact that Edwin had never returned weigheth heavily upon both him and Elizabeth. Speaking of Elizabeth, I had the chance to speak to her alone, and she confessed to being quite troubled by Richard's behavior since the burial. I urged her to leave for a time, should become too much to bear. And then you also have the rosary beads, which check off this objective. So now all we really need to do is leave, but we have a couple places left to loot. So the note we also received, so that we have to leave the mission with. Make another real save here. Oh. To follow him, I guess. No, not following.
Paperwork. If I ever lay eyes on the Taffer who had the bright idea of filling out reports, he's gonna be sorry his mother ever taught him how to read.
Have to sneak over here now. Now, we cannot get into the inn for Supreme.
What was that?
What was that noise?
Mostly because he alerts. He alerts to entering the door here. He is a little bit odd. I'm not going to save it now. But he faces this direction, north, but I think he also faces east. And if he faces east, he will not alert when you open the door, but he will still give a settling remark later on, about 2 minutes later, showing that he was alerted when you open the door. That still constitutes a bust for Supreme, so you cannot enter this way. But in here, you have a stack of gold coins, which is worth 40 that we have to skip. And let us read that. January 22nd, Room 1, mysterious redhead in dark clothes. Gave the name Jill Black. Pretty sure that's an alias. But she paid in full and is quiet, so who am I to complain? Room 2, Lady Fairbanks. Must be something bad going on for her to take a room here when she lives practically next door. Lord Fairbanks stayed here just last week too, although I didn't see anyone going into his room. Sure makes you wonder though. Show you a few things upstairs. So this is Jill Black's bedroom. Now her window is open. Now, I will show you what happens when you enter the window from the outside. Most of you probably know. And in this you have 2 flash bombs. There's also a water arrow, a gas mine, a healing potion, and a slow fall potion. As well as her... There's a sword here, I think. Yeah, under the bed. Worth 150 that we also have to skip. But let's read her diary. January 20th. Planning a short visit to Dayport Red Leaf Square district to hit the stores there. They got hit a week ago, but should have new inventory by now. Whoever did that job was top-notch. Nobody saw anything. No alarms were set off. Maybe I'll meet him, or her, someday. January 22nd, using the Harlequin Inn as a home base. The next couple of nights should be good pickings. Lady at the desk took a minute to figure out I'm mute when I just signed the book and slapped some coin down without saying a word. If she only knew. Going to scout a bit and get a feel for the rooftops before I head for the jewelers later on. So there's another thief here. here we have Lady Fairbanks. And here is a purse worth 225 that we also have to skip. And that's the last loot item we have to skip. And her diary. December 31st. Today ends a year better than most. My children are both beautiful and healthy, and I just know that Julie is in love with someone. I only wish she would confide in me, but she refuses to even admit there is anyone. A girl and her mother shouldn't have secrets. Edwin is at the age where he needs to strike out on his own, find his own way, but he seems fearful of stepping out of his father's shadow. Richard can be so overbearing at times, and I don't think he realizes how much Edwin lives to please him. The boy would do anything his father asks, and I'm afraid that that is his greatest flaw. But what am I to do? 16th of January. Julia has been withdrawn and distanced the last few days. I must assume that she and her romantic interest are either having a quarrel or are unable to be together. I know she has been sneaking out at night occasionally the last few months, and even watched her slip into Red's studio once. I asked him about it the next time I saw him, but he claimed to know nothing. Call it intuition or prescience, but I just have an ominous sense about her situation. I mentioned it to Richard today, but he dismissed the thought that she even has a love interest. January 20th. My life may as well have ended today. I buried my sweet daughter in the ground, and I have no idea where my son is. He fled after realizing he had unwittingly brought about her demise. O Builder, comfort us. Richard violated the sacredness of her diary. He read it and learned that the Highwater boy is Julia's love. He sent Edwin to duel the boy. They're both just boys. How could Richard be so reckless? How could he not have known what would happen? January 21st. I pulled Julia's old music box out of storage and put it on her dresser. She loved the melody so much as a child, and now it brings me comfort to hear it and see the tiny dancer, which was made in her likeness. I would do anything to hold my girl in my arms again, but she has gone on to be with the Builder. I light candles in Edwin's room every night in his memory, since his greatest love was reading by candlelight. Perhaps seeing the candles in his window will invite him to return home to his family, knowing we will always forgive him for what had happened. January 22nd. Richard has quickly spiraled into a very dark place since the funeral. I don't recognize my husband anymore. He's bordering on madness, and I don't know how what to do. He's poured through every book we own and brought dozens more into the library. And when I try to ask him about it, he mumbles about how he must find a way. Find a way? To do what? I don't know how much longer I can stay around here. I may have to stay at the inn for a few days, or go visit my cousin in the country, just to get away from all of this. January 22nd update. Richard dismissed the entire staff, including Helga, and told them all to go home. I can't imagine what is going on with him now, but I can't take this anymore. Luckily, the Harlequin had a vacancy, as it was too late to leave for Gertrude's, but I think I'll head for her country home in the morning. I have to get away for a while, and hope that Richard comes to his senses. Okay, so all of this we have to skip then. We cannot enter the inn at all. They're all going the same way. That's pretty convenient, actually. Oh, see that? He settles, but he doesn't alert. No, he didn't catch me, though. Okay, we have to basically hit the baker right now, and then we have to head into the northern area. There's a couple places here, 3 places that we can loot. Oops.
Just the wind. really safe anymore. Not now. Don't think anyone's nearby. Should be okay.
Over here. This door we have to pick. Back door to the baker's where we entered in mission 1. There's 2 flash bombs in this one, and then here is a stack of gold coins worth 25 and a stack of silver coins worth 12. Total 29.37. Okay. We could have used Fairbanks Manor key and headed out this door. I did not remember that. And we have to head down that gate right there. Have to cross this lit area. Which can be a little tough. There are also a couple of patrollers that are coming from that northern area. They're usually not patrolling until you reach this region. They are probably stuck because of distance. And there's an archer there too. So now the streets are much more heavily patrolled. That's why you should attack that area at last. So all these guys could have given us a lot of problems earlier. Luckily we only have to go through here once and then back again. But when we come back, most of them are in the southern part of town. I don't think you'll see me from that distance if I'm slow like this. I don't know if that was an alert or what it was. Just don't want to take any chances there. No. There's no way he can see me there. Nope. I'm fine. That was a conversation.
I can't believe how bad Wayside's got. Guy tried to rob me, broad daylight, just the other day.
Why'd you be going down to Wayside anyway? Nothing there but whores and moneymongers.
Hey, my sister lives down that way.
Bet I know which sort she is.
Okay, now there's nobody here, so we can loot this area pretty freely. Oh yeah, I forgot to show you guys what happens when you enter the inn from above, from outside the window. I'll show you that as we end the mission. This is the music shop, I believe. Peter's House of Music. Should be a money box back here. We also have to pick. So then the total lockpick count is one more than it needs to be, really. Not that the lockpick count needs to be very low, but this pile of coins is worth 165. Because I didn't know that that hammer could enter... or enter the chapel. January 14th. I don't understand why the uncouth heathens in this part of town don't appreciate my music. When I could afford to keep the shop in Aldale, I had nobility who would frequently frequent the place and ask to hear my works, and even got a few commission jobs. But then that talentless hack Colbane moved in down the street and siphoned off all my patrons, and many of my paying customers. I still fail to understood what anyone sees in him or his music. At any rate, Dayport just isn't the bustling art hub that Aldale is. But at least I sell enough books and instruments to keep meat on the table. I just wish someone here would hear my compositions and commission something grand. January 18th. I had the notion of recording one of my better piano pieces on the other night on a Victrola blank and leaving it playing in the store. Perhaps I'll get lucky and some noble with good taste in music will hear it and decide to commission a work from me. If nothing else, it drowns out that Michael fellow who frequently comes in to play the baritone lute, but never seems interested in buying it. I do love this office, where I'm able to lose myself in composition after hours. The lighting is excellent, which is required for putting notes on the page. If only the store weren't so dim. I stumble into things all the time. It's so dark in there. Perhaps I should add some more lights in the store as well. That was it, right? Yes. Oh. Music and the arts in Dayport. Let's see. Lutes. Baritone, 250 gold. Tenor, 210. And alto, 190. Private lessons, 5 gold per hour. Here is a silver flute, 300 gold. So I assume that's this one. So that is worth 150. Piccolo, 150 gold, and that is worth 50. I think it's nice that there is then obviously a difference in what it's worth versus what he's selling it for. To gain profit, I guess. Flute or piccolo? How to choose. Books, 20 gold. Nothing else to read here. Welcome to Peter's House of Music. Browse our instruments and books, play a tune, and ask for help if you have a need. Private lessons available on many of our instruments. All prices are negotiable. Good. So this is the paper store. We can't get in there in this mission, but I think we can in a later mission. Mechanist Research Center. Visitor entrance. Deliveries to rear. Okay. Can't get in there. But there is a piece of loot up here that we need. No, it's here, isn't it? Yeah. A purse worth 80, total 33.82. So now we've basically done Peter's music, and the research center you can't get into, and the quill you can't get into. We're in Fairpoint Alley. Ingram's and Sons, which is a warehouse. That we can get into, though. Dayport Warehouse. Dry goods, produce, textiles. That is open. Interesting. Let's head upstairs here. There is a patroller here. Right there. I gotta wait for him to move. I didn't know that he was positioned there, to be honest with you. Okay, come on, buddy, let's move. Is he stuck there or something? Pile of coins here, and a journal. January 8th. The business is going pretty well lately, and so is my side business. Who knew that there was such a market for stolen artwork? I pay the captains a pittance to bring the art in, store it in my freezer, and go through Ramsay and his network to sell it to the highest bidder. And with certain of the nobles in Dayport and Aldale having quite a taste for art, and contraband art in particular, we've had no problems moving most of these items. I'm making more on this racket than the actual warehouse. 17th. Things have slowed a bit with the art racket, but Oliver said there's a big shipment coming in next week on the semaphore, including some actual jars from Carith Din and a few really nice statues. It should be a solid haul. Maybe I'll take some time off with the money. Anitra has been nagging me to take her south to the ocean to get away from all the snow, so it should be the right time come February. January 21st. Curse my luck. Danny got surprised by some dock worker when he was moving the goods off the ship, and he panicked and killed the guy. To make it worse, he threw the body in a crate and brought it back here to the warehouse with the goods. I told him he was a knucklehead, and to make sure it didn't happen again. Then I threw the body in the freezer for now, until I can figure out what to do. January 22nd. I spoke to one of the friends next door about taking care of my problem, and they were happy to return the favor I'm doing them by letting them store some mechanical parts for free in my warehouse until they have enough room. I knew that would pay off. I had to give them the freezer key so they could take care of removing the body during the wee hours tonight, but they said they would return it tomorrow during normal business hours. They also wanted to store some artifacts of theirs in the freezer for a while, since they would be in there anyway, so I obliged. I'm just glad to be rid of this problem, while keeping Danny out of trouble with the watch. Okay, and then the pile of coins were worth 80, so we should have a total of 34.62. Now, I don't know what's up with this guy. Sure, right as we get around the corner here, he will move and catch us. Don't know what's going on with him. Okay. Now, in here is the body that they were talking about. It's difficult to see, but if you can see the head of him right there. I'm sure we'll get in there in a later mission, actually. Okay. So we just have to leave, basically. Make a real save as well before we do that. So we just have to head back to the gate here. they all coming this way now? Looks like it. Go through my inventory here. Book of Shadows was an objective. We have the max loot, and I'll go through what we missed earlier. Rosary Beads was an objective. Thaddeus note we received, we didn't pick it up. Same with the Thaddeus key, and we have nothing else. Okay. Climb back over here. Now let me show you what happens if you try to enter the inn through the window. So now the window's closed. If you don't enter through the bottom, you might have heard the triggering of a trap there. And now, if you head in here, there's a trap that's going to spring. There is nothing you can prevent. No way you can prevent that from actually triggering. So you can't get into the room. Oh, sorry. You can't get into the room without triggering a trap, which busts Supreme, but you can't even do it without dying and getting spotted by her. So you can't get any of the loot in there. So all the loot in the inn, whatever entry you choose to use, is not attainable for Supreme. It is attainable for Ghost, because you can go in through the main door. And that ends the mission. No, wait. What am I doing? Oh, my bad. We are ending at the north gate. Not at the south gate. That's my bad. That shouldn't be difficult to do. Just have to head back up here. This is North Gate. That should end the mission. Yeah. Awesome. So let's go through the stats. Total time, 1 hour, 17 minutes, 14 seconds. Found 3462 loot out of 3877. That's not right. That is so weird. It should be out of 4,127. That's the maximum loot for this mission, 4127. Yeah. Oh yeah, totally. Because we skipped 665 total. So that brings it to 4127. That is so weird. So it's 250 loot less than it should be in the maximum here. 250 loot, that's what we skipped in the gold candlesticks that were all lit. That is so odd. I wonder if you don't extinguish the candlesticks before taking it, the mission doesn't count it as loot. because you can't pick it up until you extinguish it. That is very odd. But this total is right, 3462, because we skipped 3 gold candlesticks at the Fairbanks because they were all lit, and we skipped 2 more of the same type of candlesticks at the Hammerite Chapel. So that's 250. And we skipped a total of 415 at the inn. 40 from the money box downstairs, 150 for Jill Black's sword, and 225 in Mrs. Fairbanks' purse. That's 415. Plus 250 is 665, and that's what we're missing from the total. So this is not the right amount. That is strange. I wonder if that is a consistent error or if it just happened now for my run. It doesn't matter because we have the right amount that we took. Anyway, pockets picked 3 out of 4, locks picked 6, backstab 0, knockout 0, damage dealt 0, damage taken 0, healing taken 0, innocents killed none, and others killed 0. Secrets found 4 out of 4. That's nice. For Supreme we could get all. Pocket or locks picked could have been 5 if I had known that the Hammerite with the lamp actually goes into the chapel for a little bit. We could have used his path in there to block the door open. But anyway, we locked the door afterwards and we returned the key, so nothing is wrong for Supreme there. So that was a successful Supreme run. You can perfect thief this mission. Like I said, you can do that, but I focus on Supreme. Anyway, next I will finish Thief Gold. Strange Bedfellows and Into the Maw of Chaos I will do before I do any other mission. Just because I had already prepared this one, I wanted to do that one since I had the time. And then I will finish this campaign here. So a good mission, even though it's a reuse of the map. It's a good way of reusing it this time. I didn't think so much that was the case for mission 3. But this one was a good one, where we could enter different areas of the city. So that's cool. So thank you guys again for supporting my channel. Hit the like button. Comment, please, if you have any questions or suggestions. Or subscribe if you haven't, if you want to get future updates for more missions. So anyway, I'm done for today. Hope you guys enjoyed the 4 updates that I had from you this time. Don't get used to that, though. Anyway, look forward to seeing you guys here again next time. Have a good night. Bye-bye.